Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Naodale Koshiadoma, and today we are going to talk about childhood traumas. If you've ever heard me talk at all, you will know that childhood traumas is a big part of my story, from my introduction to my topic on awareness. But before that, I would like to state that this does not constitute professional help. If you need of help, contact a psychiatrist, or a psychologist for professional help. This is my life experience and I'm just sharing. So do not consider this as your all with all. Please seek for professional help if in need of it. Okay, so let's just get right into it. My journey with awareness itself was a matter of me growing out of my traumatic situations from childhood. I had suffered not necessarily neglect, but I've had I had a very short period of discontinuity when my parents separated, and then there was a shift between who to live with and who not to live with at certain times. And then, as little as that was, and as short as that was, it felt like it had a very lasting, long effect on me. And until today, I'm still dealing with some of those issues. And it wasn't really that bad. There were no real abuses. It was just separation, and then moving around, and then sometimes not being sure what was going to happen. Yes, and then with that, I built defenses, and it has affected me long term. But then let me just define what the general sense of child trauma is like. It's like harmful experiences that happens in childhood, but then the sufferer carries it along and goes up with it, and it affects them in the long term. So for sometimes we can say a situation such as the neglect can be the same. Some people, most of the time when you talk about childhood traumas, people think of the abuses, the main abuses, sexual abuse, physical abuse. But abandonment, neglect, and even those little maltreatment you give to those kids that come to live with you, whether they are your own kids, your nieces and your nephews, or even strangers from your village, you cause them long-term effects. If you know this is something that you've not been aware of, and then its effects are not something that please again, the subtle things you do goes a long way to affect people. So yes, basically I'll just tell you generally the information I have on childhood traumas, and then we'll go into its effects. Childhood traumas plays out differently for different people. They play out differently for different people. The way I would react to a situation would be different from the way you would react to the situation. We might be living in the same house, under the same circumstances, the same experience, but I would come out absolutely different from the way you would come out. Somebody might be aggressive about the same situation, but then the other person will also choose to withdraw and become passive. And sometimes when the trauma is quite big and strong and severe, or sometimes if the brain is not necessarily able to deal with it, the brain buries it, and it's almost like that experience never happened. You do not remember it at all. Yes, that happens. You do not remember a phase, some time, a period. It just like it does, it's not there. And then once in a while you get some kind of flashbacks towards that situation. Yes, childhood traumas can actually affect a whole phase of your life. Some people miss out a whole 10 years and more of their lives that they actually have no memory of. Okay, so let's use this neglect situation I talk about as a case study. Somebody experiencing neglect would probably become clingy. That is developing attachments. You call it disorder because there are different styles of attachment. There's the avoidance, dismissive avoidance, there's the fear avoidance, there is the anxiety precursory, and then there's also the secure. There's different types of styles. But then a lot of these childhood traumas would result in some kind of attachment disorder. So let's talk about somebody who is clingy. We have somebody who has been neglected in the past would either become clingy or avoidant. The clingy person is the one that is always want to be close to you, almost obsessive in nature. Yes, that is actually an after effect. Not all of them, please. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody here, but it is most probably as a result of some form of neglect. Such a person then such a person would explain a turbulent relationship as passion. The kind of people that will say, he beats me because he loves me. Yes, that is not normal, and that is something that you should look into if you find yourself in a repeated situation like that. You find some people begging a cheating partner to come back to them, even though they are on the victim side. They end up still being the one to beg, and that is also very harmful. If you find yourself in those kind of situations, you will need to examine yourself and, if possible, seek help. In the same situation, the same neglected situation, somebody else will choose a different response at all. Somebody else will become probably avoidant. The person would avoid relationship entirely. Or when a person gets into a relationship, they pretend as if they don't care. Not necessarily because they don't care, but that is their own self-defense mechanism. Such a person will not really apologize and will pretend as if they don't care whether the relationship collapses or thrives. And such people they find it very, very difficult to maintain relationship if they don't find the right person to manage them. And this is also not healthy. It is not any better than the clingy, obsessive partner. It is not. The best form of attachment is a secure kind of attachment. This one gives a balance between how close you are with your partner, and then you give them space, and then your communication. This is the ideal one, but also attachment styles is not the focus of this video today, so we might look into it some other time. But for the meantime, let's just go back to the effects of childhood traumas. So there are numerous effects of childhood traumas, and most people actually exhibit some without knowing it. According to the International Society of Traumatic Stress Studies, childhood traumas affect you in three main ways. That is your emotional health, your mental health, and then your physical health. So for your emotional health, it leaves a lot of people with angry. So you see people exhibiting aggression. It can also leave people with shame. You can imagine somebody who has been raped and the person is never able to come over it. Then this person lives with shame and never feeling like the person is enough. For the same rape, somebody else would become very, very aggressive with men, and then would be basically exhibit aggression in most of the things they do. For mental health, this can result in drug abuse, alcohol abuse, depression. Some people want to self-harm, PTSD. The effects of on mental health is numerous. And it has also been shown that having traumatic issues in your childhood can give you low immunity and also cause you difficulty in sleep, which would go in a long way to affect your physical health. But then there is a way out of all of these things. Childhood effects it is there, but people have grown out of it. For you to see more videos on how childhood traumas affect people, you should visit Soft White Underbelly, a YouTube channel that discuss it tells the story of sex workers and drug addicts on the streets, and then it will tell you how much childhood traumas have affected some people's life. Some of these people can pinpoint to one situation that they never were able to come over, and that drove them from having a normal child life and going onto the streets to abuse drugs or to be sex workers. Like it's some of the stories are so gut-wrenching, it is sad. I would urge you to take a look at it to just get yourself familiarized with how traumas have affected a lot of people's lives. But then beyond that, it's not to give up or to put you down, because for me, I always say awareness is a tool to win. If you know, you begin to work on it to get better at it. So now that you know, if you find yourself in any of these situations, I'll urge you not to give up or to feel down or to make it have any negative effects upon you. If you identify some of these things, the first tool is to know. Now that you know, you can work it out. There are several tools that you can use in working out through these situations, and then you can leave situations that are keeping you bondage or things that you have not been able to grow out of. In my next video, I'll be discussing 5 steps that I used to grow out of my traumatic experience, and then until now I'm able to do certain things that I could not have done before. I was not very trusting and would not get close to people for a very long time, but now I do way better and I have a lot more friends than before. So join me next week, subscribe and like my channel, and then yes, I will bring you the video next week. Stay tuned. Enjoy your day and bye bye.